Thank you. I'm going to share my screen. And hello and welcome, everyone. This is the circle meeting, the fourth meeting of the Catalyst Circle V1. Today is August 26, 17 UTC, and we are starting right now with everyone but David. David mentioned that he's a little bit overwhelmed with the Cardano Summit work, so we will update him later. And let's start with the announcement by John.
Hi, everybody. Just mentioning that we have this training on foundations of sociocracy coming up on this Saturday. I wish we could have done it Friday because I think we could have gotten different people, but more people seem to think Saturday. So if you want to come, there's a link there to register. Actually, there's not a link there. I'll try to get one and put it in a moment. And that's it. Just you're all welcome. It's at 1300 UTC on Saturday, which I believe is before the swarm meeting. And it'll go for 2 hours.
Great. Thank you, John. Now, based on the feedback I received last meeting, I made some changes in the way how to facilitate this meeting. I can just show the main topics that were mentioned in feedback, go through the agenda at the beginning, align expectations and outcome, provide extra time, almost always is needed, more attention to the meeting time and deliverables, more focus to discuss the issues and how to solve them. And I marked this one because this might change a bit. We are going to talk about this today. Be sure to have at least one action item for all discussed problems and provide some time for open dialogue. This was included as well.
I think your volume is a little low. Why is it only?
Is it low?
It could go a bit higher. You can make it to 20% loud.
Oh, your door sounds really loud then.
Is it better now?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, great. So let's just take some time to look at the agenda for today's meeting. I've created 5 sessions here just to get us organized and see which topic fits each session. First one is the opening announcements and expectation elements, basically what we are doing right now. Second one is operational changes, because we are still learning how to do this, so we might have some need to talk about like a meta conversation at the beginning of the meeting. I don't expect to spend too much time here every meeting. Maybe this one is going to be a little bit more time consuming because we are suggesting some changes. The third one, is to update the actions accorded in the previous meeting, and at the same time update the Trello board accordingly if we are tackling one of the problem statements there. Then we are going to decide about the next problem statement that is going to be prioritized in the following 2 weeks, and update the Trello board accordingly as well. And then some time to provide feedback, and a buffer time just for extra conversations and open dialogue if needed, or if we have time for that. And I'm not sure if it's worth it for me to explain each topic here, but we'd like to spend 1 minute just reading and making any comments.
So I have just one topic I wanted to raise, and maybe we should find some time to talk about it today, which is, so today we learned that there's more than 800 proposals submitted to Catalyst in Fund 6. And if you remember, I mentioned that the absolute number of CAs participating is a major risk right now. I think there's a major risk with Catalyst, that if we don't take action, in the next 2 weeks, to encourage more CAs to register and then participate, we will, basically the system will not be able to keep up with the number of reviews needed to help voters make informed decisions. So I would appreciate if we take maybe 10 minutes to discuss this emerging risk and see how we as a circle can try to address it.
Okay. Putting this at the end here.
So I think I can take my updates on recruitment for a challenge team really short and precise, so we can win some time.
Okay. So yeah, I think some of these actions are actually going to be quicker than what I've placed here, because it was just to be sure that we don't run over time today and we can cover all topics. Okay. Can we move on? Great. So we
Yes.
finished the first. Thank you. We finished the first session. First section, actually. Now moving to the second one about the operational changes, proposed operational changes in the way that Catalyst Circle is working today. I'm going to take 5 minutes to talk about this. As you know, I was thinking about this and discussing with you since last meeting about how we should do things here and not just come up with solutions, but incentivize the community somehow to participate and come up with ideas and solutions as well. So I wrote some things down here just so I don't forget about them. So the first point is clarification about the role. As I mentioned, we are here to perform problem sensing silently and not problem solving. We cannot come up with solutions for all the problem statements that were raised by the community in 1 hour or less than an hour, as we tried to do last weekend. We managed to do for one of the problem statements, but not for the other one. And when we come to a really hard problem statement, a really difficult one, like CA reputation or general catalyst memory reputation, we are not going to be able to do this so quick. So it just makes sense to ask the community for help on this as well. And we should lead the problem prioritization. This is something that I propose to include in the agenda of every circle meeting. We should take 10 or 15 minutes to choose and discuss about the problem, talk about the constraints, and how to frame it to present to the community so they can participate. We should also increase the statements and the actions that are being taken to tackle them. So I think Doris is going to talk a little bit about this. We can present recurrent updates about the circle in town halls, for example. Dor also mentioned tackle 12 problem statements in a single catalyst circle. So we should try to really work on 6 of them, but let's just give the space for the community to come up with ideas and solutions about the other ones. So let's try to raise the awareness of all of them, but of course, prioritizing the ones that we think that are going to benefit the most the community in the short term, at least. And we should be working on the voting system for CCV2, maybe offline or in an online document or another tool, because also this is another topic that I think it would be more productive if we work together on a document, for example. Any comments here?
Looks good. I think it's like, I'm happy we're learning and evolving, and so it's great. Thanks, Victor.
I think there will be some change, of course, as soon we'll start to implement. So, but I think we are going in the right direction.
Great. So now moving to Dor.
Sure, yeah. So I created like a mock proposal. It's like a strawman proposal, how to do this, and I hope I'll cover it in a minute, and then the rest of the time we can quickly improve it a bit and launch it for the next week's town hall. Let me just find my. I just want to share this slide 1 second.
So Victor, maybe you have to stop the screen share.
It's not like it's not like a glorious slide, but should do the trick.
Now I wonder how a glorious slide should look like or could look like.
Oh man, it should be like properly formatted and like maybe a visual, you know.
Let's do some glorious slides.
All right, so basically, okay, so the basic premise is, you know, as a signaling entity, right, the circle, the town hall is a powerful place to signal. Okay, this is where our most engaged community members are there, like the most likelihood will get traction, right, in that particular forum. So I offer 3 types of things we can do, you know, within like a 5-minute. Let's dedicate a 5-minute slot that's like always happens every week in the town hall, and we can fill it in the following ways. So one is basically share a screenshot. A member of the circle shares a screenshot of shares the Trello board. Like, you know, we show the status. You know, we feel like, oh, okay, we're like, you know, this is what happened. We moved this problem and this problem, you know, to this thing, and now they're ready. And like this person took ownership of this problem. So like really quick, but the goal here is just like to share the URL, show the big pictures, have the community see the big picture. Okay, that we're systematically trying to prioritize and deal with problems and resolve them. Maybe you know, during that we can also address like the logic of the Trello board, the logic of the circle, like define it also, continuing to define it to people, and remember that every week we have thousands of people joining the project. So a bit of repetition is not a bad thing. Second thing is, once we do have a problem that goes through a certain threshold, okay, so either that we want to facilitate solutioning, or even better, defining it with the community, or you know, a problem is sufficiently baked, you know, that now we're like, you know, it's like, okay, let's go, kind of like you know, basically moved into the Trello column of like ready to be communicated, you know. So then the person who owns the problem, you know, comes to the community, makes slides, you know, really makes a presentation that its goal is to basically fill in people about, you know, why is the problem important, what are known constraints, and what are next steps for people to be engaged in solutioning it. Some recommendations from our side. So you know, the way it's like presented here, it's like it will be like we'll present one problem a week. Okay, I'll try to aim for that, but it can also be flexible. You know, it could also be that some week we'll have multiple problems ready, or there's no problem ready. And the third thing is that if there's any decisions, or we want to make any requests to the community, like looking for a facilitator, stuff like that, this is the time to also do that. So that's my proposal, and I'd love to get people's feedback and suggestions how to make it better.
Dean raises hands.
Yeah,
I just was going to ask, when we present it to the community at the town hall, should we simultaneously be setting up a like idea scale for a future fund for whatever we're presenting?
Only if, like, you know, like no. It's like because I mean I guess you're talking about an edge case where we decide to endorse a challenge or something like that, but that just means it just means that we submit it for the community to vote on, right? We don't have decision-making power. We don't, you know, like the community doesn't work for the circle, right? The treasury doesn't work for the circle. These funds work for the community. It's important to make this difference. So we can't control the funds. The only thing we can do is propose. So basically we go through the process everybody else is going through.
Okay, thank you.
Laura, I'm not sure if it would
Felix,
be
you have
better maybe try to change the day of the week that we have these meetings from Thursday to Tuesday, so we can talk about the things that we are going on the circle one day after the meeting itself, because we will have like 1 week delay until we decide the next problem to be prioritized, for example, and would be better to just talk about this to everyone already.
So I guess my thought is that, like, having time for the owner of the problem to have a time to prepare its presentation is a good thing, and like by putting that kind of deadline, it really makes everybody rush, especially, and introduces like pressure, like especially now that we're like severely under resourced. So I think it's actually more prudent to have like turn the defect into an effect. Okay, like the 5-day delay is actually gives us the chance to really, you know, reduces the risk that we're hasting and we're doing things last minute. I mean, but that's my opinion. I'm also open to change it. Like I'm open to change it if other people like strongly disagree, that they think that the immediacy is more of a priority.
Felix.
I have a question. Maybe it would be a little bit hard to introduce, but moving from Trello to GitHub, at least. Just when look, for example, in the future, let's say like complexity of Catalyst Circle itself. Maybe GitHub, to start with GitHub already and keep it on Git, where you can link to various applications. It's open sourced, everybody has an easy access and whatnot. And you can at least use it in exactly the same way on project management, like a Trello board. I was just thinking that maybe it would be a nice step.
My main objection to that is that GitHub is a platform that targets developers, and that's how the interface also looks like, and it would exclude a lot of people that are, and actually Trello is more targeting like general population, so it will be much more user friendly. I mean, that's less intimidating for people to enter, and that's my main argument against GitHub.
That's
Yeah.
a valid one.
And I think Trello might really help us, since we are not maybe only planning for short-term actions, but also talking about things that take time, and maybe we need to hand over from one to the other. So I think it's and the general understanding of it, it's easy to use. So anybody can hop on at any time. The barrier is low. So I think so too, we should stick with it.
All right. So let's not spend more time on this. Let's go ahead.
Okay.
I think I wanted to add a comment here. I think it's a perfect that we have the spot, that we will have the spot. And I would add one slide at the start, as you do also for the catalyst, like the one standard slide on what the catalyst circle is. So we can really educate people on what actually to expect from us. Yeah. And like really get it, like, I mean, everybody knows you're starting the first slide and everybody actually knows what's happening. But again, it's for also the new people. So yeah, we can have that slide.
Who is taking ownership of preparing that slide?
I love doing slides, fancy slides. Yeah. I did some glorious slides.
Glorious slides now.
Okay.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
I mean, can I use at the first slides maybe the 4 rules Chris Beard wrote down in the facilitating communication between the all the stuff. But yeah.
Great. Okay, so yeah, Edward?
So I guess the last thing that we didn't talk about is basically like just like internally, like how do we, so I guess like one sentence I forgot to edit in the slides is that, like, you know, at the end of a circle meeting, we should probably like review, like, you know, like what problems do we anticipate to be communicated in the town hall, what are decisions that we want to communicate, and who's presenting them. So maybe like a recurring agenda item in the end of a town hall should be like, you know, okay, what's like who's doing kind of like, who's communicating what outcome from this meeting.
I think I can communicate it like next week. Felix can prepare the slides, he can communicate, and we get different people doing the same in the next meeting.
Yeah, and actually for facilitation, why don't we set up like a chronogram to really everybody rotating this presentation, that we don't have this question of, okay, now it's town hall, who is presenting, and really taking accountability, everybody in the group.
Yes,
like,
yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've spent more than 10 minutes here already, but we are still ahead of schedule. Does everybody agree with this, with the proposed actions here? Anyone disagree?
You might want to make sure that those are written down now on the Miro board so that it's clear what the decision is.
Oh, we're still documenting on the Miro board?
As well.
I'm just taking notes.
Not about to, it's impossible to track and read that stuff, but all right.
We don't know yet what we do with the Miro board, but
Yeah, but actually this is another operational important thing, because we are duplicating efforts here. At the end, I think if we seriously move to Trello, in computing this directly into the Trello, could make it easier. Yeah,
Why
for
not
the next time, just saying.
Why not just like have a simple Google Doc pair meeting
Yeah.
that's like,
Well,
okay,
as
this is
well.
what we decided, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's much
Standard
easier.
meeting notes.
And I find it helpful if you just put down the word all caps decision and then what the decision was.
Like
Yeah, I
this.
can.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
like that.
okay. I'm gonna take initiative. I'm just gonna create a Google Doc. I'm gonna call it meeting notes. So, sorry for the takeover. Okay, meeting notes, and I'm just gonna paste. I'm just gonna paste the bullet points from this slide over there, just so we. And then I'll share the link, and maybe someone else can take over the
merging. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let's move on to the next topic. This one is yours, Thor, again. It's about the problem sensing flow and impact. 5 minutes.
All right, I'm just gonna share with all of you. Sorry, I'm just sharing the Google Doc with everybody. 1 second, sorry. Okay, here it is in the chat. I think everybody should have edit access to it. Oh no, hold on. Now everybody has edit access to it. And okay, next. Share screen.
And we are 4 minutes ahead of the schedule.
Okay. Okay. Does everybody see? Is everybody seeing this slide?
Yes.
Problem process. Yes. Okay. So again, in the spirit of pretty similar to the town hall, I'm gonna kind of go through the process. It's very early stage, and let's improve on it. But this is like how I believe it could be laid out. Okay. So, what we do is like the process. Okay, so the goal of the process is what Victor said. We want to use our skills, our perspective, the shared perspective of the circle, and our legitimacy, right, to define and amplify problems. Okay, and basically provoke, inspire the community to solve these issues. And I think there's like another aspect here where, so I would say like one part of it is inspiring the community. The other aspect is sometimes it's just a matter of a bit of internal coordination between us, right? Like internal coordination between IOG and something the advisors want, right? Like maybe some issues are completely within our power to resolve, but so these are the two main outputs. Okay, so either problems become solutions because they were provoked because we provoke the community to solve them or incentivize them, or that the solutions are solved, or the problems are solved because once we raise it in the circle, we actually see that within our own, it's actually within our own capacities to just figure out a solution. And maybe it's like turning on a switch in a D scale, okay, like whatever, so like the stuff like that can happen. So the process itself is we start with each group goes back to their to the people who they represent, and they work together to identify one problem to focus on. Okay, so this is different from what we did so far, which was 2 problems, simply because of capacity. Okay, and we can increase capacity once we prove that we are able to have better capacity. But I think right now it's actually better to do a few things really well than to overcommit. Then each one of those, this one problem, it has an owner. Okay, it has a person who's shepherding it, stewarding it, accountable for it, and that is the circle member. Okay, who was the either it was the original circle member who identified it, or if for some reason we like identify some kind of an emergent problem or something like that, like what I said about CA's participation, for example, today, then we might want to assign a problem owner. But that's like a condition. You can't have an orphan problems, okay, that nobody is accountable to promote. Then this problem owner, its responsibility is to push it through the Trello board, okay, and then like here below you can see that schema. So it starts with, so we have this problem backlog, okay, so these are like, let's call them orphaned problems, or for some reason, like, nobody's like currently dealing with them. They progress to being raw problems. So there's like there's an owner that's assigned, and in this case, the problem owner needs to present the problem to the circle and get some feedback from the circle. So it could be done in a meeting or offline. I'm not sure. We can discuss what's best. But basically the goal is get like a 360 view from all the other participants to help define the problem, like see, like source if there's any constraints, there's only any constraint to the problem. So for example, I'll just give you example of a constraint. Let's say like reputation system. Okay, so a constraint is that really to have a reputation system, we probably don't have enough time, or it's a hard problem, and we're probably not gonna resolve it in the next several months because it requires a lot of research and analysis. Okay, but so we can raise a bunch of constraints. It can be logistical constraints, technical constraints, each one from his own mind, and basically upgrade the problem from just like including the perspective of this particular group to actually that it includes the complete perspective of the circle. Once that process goes through that, then it's a well-defined problem. It's like moves on to this the card, and then basically the proposal owner can share a draft with the circle members. How does this problem look like? We can put our, like, basically give consent that yes, this is a high priority problem that we want to engage the community in. And sharing with the community means that we broadcast it in many different ways. I think definitely presenting it at the town hall. That we can also do facilitate a solution session. Okay, so again the same problem owner, either he assigns, or makes sure that there's someone that facilitates sessions, maybe in the after town hall, maybe swarm sessions on Saturday, maybe he does a special workshop where people can come and present their different solutions to the problem. It can also be like a call for, like a call for solutions that could be like fill up a form and answer. Like that's kind of an open question, right? All the different venues we can do to help the community's solution together. And this is something I want us to talk about today a bit, if we have time. How are we going to treat the next few problems? And maybe we can have like a bank of different ways to facilitate solutioning with the community. And then, and lastly, we need to track what's getting picked up. Okay, so if anybody has actually taken action, okay, to address the problem, and action can be either someone created a proposal, someone created a challenge, someone is committed to do one of those things. It could be that someone is just solving it ahead without any funding or formal approval, but like there needs to be some kind of it's also like the problem owner's responsibility that once he's aware of something like that, it's added to the ticket, so we can actually track if problems are actually in the process of getting addressed or not. To conclude, we as a circle, we're empowered to do a few things, okay, to solve problems. First of all, we can, make them better defined, so better to be acted on. Second, we can endorse the challenge, or we can submit a challenge, okay, in Catalyst. Thirdly, we can actually, like, if we want, we can create a proposal. Like if something really obvious comes up, and like for example, like funding for the circle, we can actually create a proposal that is endorsed and submitted by us. And the third thing, and the fourth thing we can do is what I call like a call for solution. So we can broadcast to the community signal that we need solutions here and help facilitate solution sessions. So that's what I've got. Wonder if anybody has feedback and improvements, and I'm gonna paste the text of this.
Victor raises hand.
Yeah. I think there is another topic in the agenda today that we are going to talk about, something related to this, which is the framework for collaboration regarding the problem statements. And we are about now 2 minutes over the schedule. Would it be okay for us to discuss this when we reach the framework collaboration door?
Of course. Okay, so I just put it in I added it to be discussed in the meeting agenda, the meeting notes.
Great. So I'm gonna share my screen. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. Now we finished the second section. Let's move to the third one, which is about the updates since last meeting. Okay. First one, it's going to be me and Dor, which is about the updates on the new CA and VCA reward model. Lower my hand first. Okay. And about this, I had a meeting with the IUG research team, like I think 2 or 3 weeks ago already. They presented me the new reward system for CAs and VCAs. The goal here is to increase the quality of the CAs assessments and increase the number of the VCAs reviews, and also to have a fairer system to reward VCAs as well. So we had this meeting 2 or 3 weeks ago, and now we scheduled another meeting with the CAs cohort. It's going to be tomorrow at 17 UTC. Sorry, 16 UTC. My bad here. And this is the link for the meeting. So after that, we are going to get the feedback from the community and send it to IOD research team. After that, the model or the system is going to be adjusted if needed. And we hope that it's going to be implemented in Fund 6 already. So that's it, basically. This is a quick one. Any comments, though?
Yeah, just if people are curious, like the main change is it emphasizes quality assessment. So basically, you get reward if a veteran community advisor deems your review is of good quality or excellent quality. And so it's basically an incentive system that makes that so if you're a CA that submits like assessments that are less than good, you know, you will not get any incentive. And if you're a community advisor that gives a lot of good and excellent assessments, you will be highly rewarded. That's like the new logic of the system, just to keep you informed.
Yes. And VCA's rewards are going to be distributed based on the amount of contribution as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's gonna be more fair distribution. There's like a gazillion. I mean, the research did amazing work there. There's like a gazillion small details and stuff. They like a lot of nuance in this incentive model. It's like really fascinating. I'm just giving you like the big headlines, but there's like a lot of really elaborate and great stuff there. And you're welcome to join on Friday. I think it's tomorrow if you want to take a deep dive.
Yes. Any other questions here? Nope. Let's move on. Second one is about the miscellaneous challenge. It's a me and Laurie's. One of the problem statements of the SPOs is that there is no miscellaneous challenge, like challenge to submit a proposal that doesn't fit any of the other ones. So I thought that this was an easy problem statement to tackle. So I just created a miscellaneous challenge yesterday. And I've realized that Phil also created a very similar challenge. He called it Random and Wacky Challenge.
But that excludes all the normal and not wacky ones.
Yeah, this is like not specific SPO issue, but yeah, so it's like in general.
Yes. So I've talked to Phil already about this, and we are going to merge both proposals. Actually, I suggested a much higher budget than he did. So we are going to see what value fits the best, and we are also going to call the community to help on creating the challenge information as well and setting the budget.
I guess my question so who was like the owner, who's owned this problem? It was Loris and someone else?
So it was, yeah, so it came out from the discussions with SPOs, but there's like two things in it. It's one, it's yes, sometimes they checked and didn't, maybe, you know, somebody did see where to put, you know, their some kind of, you know, proposal. But same time, you know, I don't think people understand how it works, and that was also an additional challenge there. But yeah, but I suppose it's not SPO thing. It's like a lot of maybe some projects which when they start and they would love to, you know, migrate or create projects, then they don't see where they, you know, if they are in the if they have some bucket. And of course, if you're not, you know, if there's no bucket for your project, then basically it means, you know, you'll be downloaded, and then yeah, so it's a challenge.
But I was just trying to. So you're the owner of. So you're the owner of this, right? Basically, of this problem, like.
I suppose, yeah.
Do you want to?
Yeah, I can take. I can.
So I guess what I'm asking is like, can we? What do you think we need to do to move it to a well-defined problem and then move it to a shared with community?
some research, and then yeah, have to figure out. So if this issue is like, because I think we have to do also not only SPO side. I would love to see also from other group members. Do they have the same issue? So if there is that kind of issue and feel that there is need for something like some kind of challenge bucket, let's figure out how to define it and work. So maybe what I can do, I can also have like offline meetings, not offline, but basically meetings after the event, after this call, and discuss with each of you and see if this is something common thing, and then work on it and take charge of that.
Okay, so then we can set an action for you to take charge of organizing this challenge.
Do additional research and figure out what's the scope of this and if it's what the priority of that.
Yeah, okay. And I think this needs to be finished before the next circle meeting, because by then the edit time will be closed already in ID scale.
Yeah, I think Lars, ideally if you would create a draft, even if it's not a great draft, but like some just something that we can all look at the same text and we can all give our feedback on. I think it would make our life a lot easier, like Google Doc with commenting or something like that, with commenting turned on or something like that.
Thank you, Lars. We are now exactly on schedule, I would say. That's good. And next topic is updates on recruitment for a challenge team of Rapid Funding Challenge with Felix and Julian. 10 minutes for this one.
Yeah, we try to make it, as I think the most things to report will be next meeting when all is done. Yesterday, so last Wednesday in the town hall, we announced the recruitment for the challenge team. We had 12 people applied, and in yesterday's town hall, we invited them in a breakout group, interviewed them. It was recorded as well, so it will be uploaded soon. Today, just before our town hall, before our meeting, I had the last interview with the last person who applied, and Nori and Jonathan Edgey are working on this with me. So Nori Nishigaya, who is also supporting Dean in the voters committee. So we are using a little bit the same selection process as which has been used also for selecting Dean as representative for the general voters. I submitted just a placeholder challenge for rapid funding mechanisms for Fund 6, Fund 7 challenge settings. So I hope that in beginning next week we have the challenge team set up and then also define the challenge and draft the challenge with the challenge team. And I think that's it.
Great.
That's awesome. Great work, Felix. Really much gratitude for you for leading it. And it's amazing that so much response, right? All this, I mean, it's gonna be an amazing challenge. I mean, is there like cool analysts or like
Yes,
some experts that are in that team?
Yeah, some interesting people. Yeah. Just wait. Normally I shared the doc here already from the people who signed up. But it's a nice mix of everything, let's say. So we have people from data science over mathematicians, physics, developers, financial experts. So we have a little bit of everything. So we will get really a nice team together.
Can I open it here? Can I share this information with everyone
sure.
in the report?
Yes.
Okay.
And also from the presentation. All
Okay,
right.
so yeah, we have all different backgrounds here: financial expert, project manager, data analysis, general technical developer skills,
Yeah.
open source documentation tracking,
And what is also nice, there are people from Fund Zero to very new into the ecosystem. So a really beautiful mix of everything.
One thing that I think we do miss here is like someone that has some experience in funding mechanism, right? Like someone who actually was worked or an experience in like working on rapid funding mechanism or just funding mechanism in general. I would Felix, my advice to you is maybe reach out to Chris Baird from the Catalyst team, and he has a huge network of people who have that expertise, and maybe he can recommend you someone that has this kind of, because I think that would be really could really add a lot of value to that team.
Yep, will do. And the same process is repeating also for the facilitator. So was announced yesterday's town hall. Next Wednesday we will meet them, and yep, move on.
Great. Any other comments?
Yeah, there will be one thing where I think I have to convince Dor somehow, because we are working already since I think, Victor, since 2 weeks on the draft already for this rapid funding mechanism, and there's let's say quite a clear amount of the community who really would love to draft a totally new challenge. So to really overthink a little bit everything, also to say, oh, okay, for right now, all challenges we have in Catalyst function by the same design. And maybe it's nice also to bring one challenge with a low budget, not to risk too much, but with a totally new design, also to be able to compare, to say, oh, okay, what is happening if not to be, let's say, in competition to the other challenges, but just maybe to explore a new direction. So, but I think there has to be a lot done to convince you for, because there are a lot of things.
It's not a matter of convincing. It's like, I mean, our goal is to get there. It's just a matter of doing it in a safe way and in a thoughtful way, and make sure we have doing it in the right order, and when we're actually ready to do that, because my experience is that it's very easy for communities to deteriorate, like decentralized communities to deteriorate into a gigantic meta discussions about like the rules of the game and like how decisions get made and how to improve the processes in a way that actually then they lose all the legitimacy, because instead of actually building things that have an impact in the world, it just like devolve into a giant meta discussion that could be valuable, but if you do it prematurely, it basically delegitimizes the entire group, and then like some other people are more pragmatic and actually build stuff, take over. So I'm experienced it several times myself. So I think it's like really important to do it, but in the right proportion and in the right timing, to build our legitimacy in the right way.
Really agree. And I remember also, I think when you introduced the Catalyst circle at the very first time, I think you mentioned, we are never ready for something. So
it's true, but this the rapid funding mechanism is exactly that. It's a huge leap forward. It basically means that each proposing team is going to have their own governance model to decide. So it's happening. It's not even it's happening. It's happening in a controlled way. It's true.
I know.
But if
It's called
if it's successful, then it's gonna explode. You know.
I know.
Great. Thanks, Felix. Moving to the next topic. We are 1 minute now ahead of the schedule. Next one is Laurens and Julian presenting the rewards for CC participants.
Can we share the screen, Julie? Can you do that? Can you
yeah, I'm prepared. I'm prepared this time.
Okay. There you go.
Can you see it? Yeah, here you go. Okay.
Can't see anything.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you can't see. I just noticed that you can't see. Host disabled participant screen sharing. So,
Move back and retry. Normally you are able now.
okay. Disabled? No, I can't.
On which device? Because you have 2 accounts here.
I'm sorry. Yeah, on the Julian
Okay.
Montag one. I'm sorry.
Okay. Now it should.
I can share it, no problem. Right now.
I have it now. Should see it now. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, the idea was to be a bit more granular on the budget. So actually, together with a survey, I was thinking to really look into the time commitment, since this also, I think, was some light topic we touched the last time. So yeah, maybe just switching over to the 4 answers I received on the questionnaire. We can throw through it like very quickly. What are your hourly salary expectations for the work of the CC? As you can see, I mean, 20, 40, 60. Of course, you're identified here. What is the amount of hours per week can you invest in the CC? So here we have, yeah, so from 0 to 10.
I would argue that sorry for cutting out, but I would argue the question is not like what you can invest, but it's more like what's needed for the best impact.
Yeah, because this is coming next, I think, because I was like going from personal commitment to what somebody can do, but you really need to make sure, because we saw that in our discussion as well, when we came up with, hey, why don't we just meet weekly one week, or why don't we have like working sessions to really get things done and push forward. So this is, I think, this question on what amount of weekly hours do you think is appropriate for a CC member to be able to contribute to the team responsibilities. So majority 5 to 10 hours. I mean, it's still, I mean, we are a very small size of people still. So yeah, but let's say majority at least is around the 10 hours. So what's next? What, in your opinion, what is the adequate team size, number of members for the CC to ensure efficiency, meeting progress, and complying with the set of responsibilities defined? 7 team size as now, so the majority states it's 7 is good. One person thinks that's might need be more. So maybe it's a discussion in the future. I think it depends on the work we are trying to achieve, and yeah, basically. So the ADA is like 100% within those 4 people, okay. And do you prefer not be paid at all? I think, Felix, that was your suggestion to put in. I think that came through the suggestion Dean made with some barriers to be paid, or even willing to not get paid. So yeah, I share that with an Excel for everybody afterwards, so we can look it up. But at the end, I mean, I think it's going to be a discussion on what we think is appropriate. So coming back to the budget, I just put in a random number just to get the formula right. So just only thinking about the meeting commitment and the preparation to some extent, like some communication among us, and of course an initiative-driven commitment, as for example we majorly all are doing. slash that may be initiatives that coming up, referring now to the process of the problem accountability process from door that would need to add some hours more. So looking at that per week, like a minimum, just the first 2 items. And I don't know if I was exaggerating here with the 2 hours preparation in terms of weekly commitment. So I would like to have your view on this. The same I did with a facilitator. And here, yeah, definitely, Victor, you can give a good bench here. What you would consider to be a reasonable number, especially for after meeting wrap up. I don't know. Preparation, maybe it's even more than 2 hours. I don't know. So you are probably better in estimating that.
Yes, I need to think a bit, because when I answered the previous question, actually I added all the time facilitation and participation as a representative of the city. So I think I need to split this one.
Good. Okay, and then we come to infrastructure. So that was the loose 0.5 in the first draft. I don't know, Lauris, do you want to explain the items? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. We just took the items which we see currently, which we are using, which are needed for for running the process. So of course, there are a lot of things which are free. We can use it, but in the future, of course, we would love to have some kind of tools which actually we are not currently using. So like, for example, emails, I suppose there should be some kind of emails for each of the delegator, basically, like SPO. For SPO, there is one email which is then used later on also for the next, when new people are coming in. So we are using the same email. So there's no some kind of continuity in that. So therefore, of course, we need, to set up those things. But yeah, I'll just also put some, approximate figures just to get some kind of amount there. And yeah, there are of course a lot of questions like regarding we discussed previously, do we need a Catalyst Circle, some kind of small web page, where people can see what's going on, meeting notes, additional information or something else. So that's also some kind of thing which we have to discuss. I put it in some rough figures, like simple one, but it's still, we have to figure out what manpower we have to deliver that kind of content, because if you want to have something specific there, which people can review and see what's happening besides town hall, then we have to figure out who will be doing that, and means also additional person who is in charge of that. So yeah, and yeah, mostly currently we are using free tools, so that's why there's not a lot. And we of course can use tools which maybe we can share with HK or whatever, like video conferencing. So yeah, just put some rough numbers there, and we can discuss how big infrastructure we need, so it's like a solid and the continuity is there. So if somebody leaves, then it doesn't leave with his private email address and etc. So there's something there. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, and the last item actually came throughout the thinking that the implementation of the solution require manpower, and if we go through the option of putting up a proposal ourselves, we can elect the implementation team. So at the end, I think it's good to think about it. What is some kind of a level of remuneration we would add to this? Maybe even split it up for different roles, it could be, or different commitments, depending on the proposal we are adding. But I think we need somehow a treasury, like a CC treasury, that allows us to also having this bucket of community implementers planned within the budget. Yeah, any comments? Welcome.
About the CC emails, I think that would be a great idea. The past couple of weeks, I've been doing like in-person and online meetups with people that are new to crypto and ADA, and just been going over what Catalyst is about, how to migrate through the or navigate through the websites, how to download data lists, how to join a stake pool, what to look for in stake pools. And it wasn't a big number, it was about 7 people total in the past 2 weeks. Just bringing them to the point where they can actually download the Catalyst app and be able to vote. Just as far as the onboarding that we talked about last week. And the one thing that I feel like would provide legitimacy or a little bit more, I guess a little bit more getting more people to do this would be if they had a communication that was tied to the Catalyst circle.
Yeah, and also I believe that there's still.
Sorry, I don't get the connection. Okay, so people are trying to register to vote, right, and vote on Catalyst. How is that related to have a direct connection to the Catalyst circle?
No, so I took it upon myself to start onboarding people, just people that I met in person here in Central Texas, and then also through some meetups online. And I was just thinking that if I wanted to make that net wider and be able to have more people be able to be trained and be able to be interviewed or walk through the entire process of how to download a Daedalus wallet, getting a Ledger wallet if they want to have a hard wallet, and then getting the Catalyst app. I just was thinking that having something tied with this, an official like Catalyst Circle thing is a lot better than just using what I'm using right now, which is my personal email address.
Got it. Thanks.
And this also goes with, sorry, I will just quickly, that also goes that, you know, if someone leaves again, you know, then the email leaves with them. So we need like a Catalyst Circle emails, which can be used also with the next, you know, people who are coming after us.
Yes, I was going to suggest for us to have an extra meeting to talk about this, not with everyone. I think it wouldn't be necessary because we are 2 minutes behind the schedule already, and I think this topic deserves much more attention than we can provide right now.
Can I just throw one more provocative, one sentence? I think $10 an hour is like, I think it's below the minimum wage in the US. I think
No, it was just I put it in because I matched the formula worked. I mean, imagine there would be 0. It was just a random number.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it should be at least, yeah. But okay, so I think that merits a discussion. You know, like how to strike a balance between that it's enough attractive that people feel that they're compensated, and but also that, you know, that it's sufficiently modest for a first iteration.
Yeah.
So could Boris or Julie schedule an extra meeting for us to discuss this?
Yes.
Who wants to join that meeting?
Me.
Victor. Okay. Good.
Me also, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good.
Yeah, let's try to finalize this, you know, all the tools, etc., and get some rough numbers. So currently, I think it's, I don't know, yeah, actually 9,300, but it's with the really low wage or dollar amount.
Maybe just one very short point for the. Oh no, not yet. Sorry.
Okay. Moving on to the next topic. Now we are 4 minutes behind the schedule, but I think we can adjust. Which is the idea for a framework for collaboration regarding the problem statements handling within the community. So we didn't really have the time to talk about this, me, Loris, and Julian. So what I did instead was to put some ideas that I had and some other people had that we've been discussing past weeks, which is we should have a way, as Dor was mentioning, like some topics like half an hour, 40 minutes ago, to see what's happening regarding the circle, regarding the problem statements. So we should have a framework that should allow an easy visualization of the prioritized problem statements, should hold the backlog of all problem statements discussed so far so people can check them. Allow every community member to upvote and downvote them to decide which one should be prioritized. Not sure how this should work, like should be updated once a week, once a month. This is up for discussion. And let the community enroll themselves to so other people can see that there's someone working trying to solve that problem statement, and preferably they should write down what they're working at, what kind of solution they're trying to create, and also let other people from the community to collaborate, see someone they're working on the problem statement already and try to collaborate, or if they think that there is a better solution, they can propose and work on another solution. So it's not exactly what you were mentioning previously, Dor, but I think it's related to that. For this, I think there are two options. The first one is a tailor-made tool that would be created specifically for the catalyst circle. This would be perfect, but this costs money and time. And the second one would be to use a combination of tools already available and used by the community. For example, we could use Trello together with the Discord server, for example, and it would be first to start. It would be good to start at first, and then we move to a tailor-made solution if we get a funded proposal in the future, for example. And thinking about this, I saw that there are 3 proposals submitted in Fund 6 that try to tackle this problem somehow, and it would be good to talk about this with these proposers here, and see if they want to collaborate to create such a tailor-made tool, make or merge their proposals if it makes sense for them. And that's it from my side. Do you want to say something, or?
I think the biggest risk is like we're trying to do it looks like we're trying to do too many things at the same time. I think the main, I would prefer like that our focus right now would be like actually, you know, let's like dog food, you know, let's first of all stand on our own 2 feet, make sure that we as a group, like this small circle, you know, we can actually move problems efficiently and be able to do that ourselves before we like go one step ahead and think about like, okay, how can we do like this, like with the entire community voting and like all the structure behind that. So which I think is a promising idea, but it's like it seems to me that we're not even, you know, it's still unclear for us internally, like what's our internal process. That first like let's clarify that, and then we can like build on top of that rather than like try to do everything at once.
So should we move this back to the backlog and not try to tackle it now?
No, I think we should. I think we can. I mean, I guess concretely what I propose is that I suggest we continue to use like Trello as our like collaboration hub, and I think like the initial thing about like upvote, downvote, I think can wait. I'm also not sure if the problem is like if we do have a prioritization problem, I think that actually all the problems we're tackling with, I'm pretty sure everybody would agree that it's like the right problems, that we're working on good problems, important. And I would refocus on actually like thinking about these, like the naming of the columns in Trello, and like as you go through the columns, like what steps, what steps, tools, affordances we have to like move from one step to the other in a way that as circle members, we don't need to like invent the stuff every time, like the process and the strategy, but there's like some best practices that we use to move through efficiently. But that's just like my opinion. If somebody feels he wants to take ownership and like really create a crowdsourcing tool that is like much more wider, in scope, I wouldn't want to block that if someone is like interested, energized.
So basically, it would be to better understand what does it take to move the problem from one column to another, and then we can better work on the problem statements and then in doing these updates.
And also today, I think it was already a little bit helpful though that you showed also how to use the Trello board. Because on the beginning, for example, we set up the Trello board and everything, and it's nice if you have a tool, but when nobody explains, hey, how do everybody use the tool, then you can have the best tool, but you will do nothing with it. So we should be all aware also, how do we use the tool all together, that there's a clear picture and everybody use it on the same way, maybe.
I think you're absolutely right. I think that was the issue. You really hit the problem on the head, and I think the best way is like actually like to. I mean, the thing is like I don't have time to do this, but I think an ideal version of me that has a bit more free time would be would actually write a guideline document that actually goes through like, how do problems get into the backlog? How do they move into the raw problems? How do they move to the well-defined? How do they move to shared? And like, and makes it all explicit. And then we can like trial that process and like improve it over time, as problems rise up. I mean, man, I want to do this. Maybe
Victor, when we ask some nice VCAs, they have already, let's say, experience in this regard, also in the ecosystem. So
I think if someone, if there's one other member of the circle who volunteers to work with me on it, that we have like we kind of have like a quick brain dump, okay, of like what are the methods, like maybe that is a bit of someone that's a bit of a facilitator, is like interested in like processes, and we can work collaboratively of something. I think we can produce a document and like a tutorial for the next circle meeting.
Victor, I think Dora is asking you for a date. If I'm right.
And the guide be on Miraboard?
Yeah, I think I would be available to do that with you, Doc.
Okay, yeah.
I'd like to. Yeah.
I think we can cover it in 1 hour. It doesn't have to be like super high fidelity. So let's just schedule time for us for 1 hour, like next week, and we'll see what we can come up with.
Okay. Any other comments on this topic? No, let's move on then. We finished the third section now. Moving to the fourth. 20 minutes discussion about the problem statement that should be prioritized in the following 2 weeks. And then we're going to talk about the risk of not having enough CAs and BCAs in Fund 6, as Dor mentioned. So let's start with this first one. So the best way to do this is by looking at the problem statements. So anyone would like to start?
I think we can take the about faster ways to get funds. Maybe this is tackled already by the Rapid Funding Challenge team and challenge itself.
Yeah, so it's shared with community, right? I would call it, because already people giving us input, the community at wide is giving input about the challenge.
Okay, now it's the time I have to confess that I don't know how to move the problem statement from.
Just drag and drop.
Yeah.
It's not working for me. I don't know why. I think I need to. No.
Maybe you don't have rights. Okay.
Yeah.
I've moved it.
And this one, I think it's duplicated. The reward CH reward system. It's here and it's somewhere else. It's here as well.
Yeah, in problem backlog. So let's take off one.
This one is a different one.
It's actually in raw problems, the third one.
Yeah, it's this one here.
Ah, yes.
This is duplicated. This is another one.
That's true, yes.
Yeah, just put it in the trash. We got enough problems.
And also, so this is the problem that we are focusing on the following 2 weeks. Does everybody agree? Any other suggestions? Any other ideas?
Well, do you mean the one called the faster ways to get funding to the community?
Yes.
So, I mean, this is what Felix is focusing on, and probably Felix and Loris, and I think there was like another one that Loris is currently working on that we did, assigned to today, which is the kind of like the miscellaneous fund. So,
yeah.
So that's also like in process.
Budgeting, miscellaneous funds.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with priority. Like I think we can see the cracks a bit in this concept of priority, because it's like it's a bit right now. I feel it's a bit of a duocracy here, but like if anybody in the circle takes responsibility and moves something forward, it will be prioritized, right? It's not like and I think it's actually So and Julie is like taking ownership over the over the issue of like basically the capacity of the circle to do shit, right? So to get stuff done. So I would like create a ticket, and I would say that this is like and with the Julie is owner, and that it's like probably it's still in the raw problem, like it's in process. I think I would call it a well-defined problem, because it's like we're currently engaging internally the circle members to give feedback about it. But soon we will. But next in 2 weeks, like the entire community through a scale is gonna give us feedback about it. So. Which actually that actually really makes me think that we should really push it forward because we might hit the finalization stage before any community feedback about our proposal. That's too bad.
So should we create another
So if anything,
ticket here?
yeah, if anything, we should prioritize and help is like support. I think support Julie to get that proposal like in a state that the community can give feedback on before the finalization stage in this fund. So that would be my recommendation.
No, yeah, I mean, you're referring to the two proposals we in the two different challenges I put yesterday, in the onboarding and in the decision making.
I'm referring to what you just presented today, the circle compensation, like the circle.
Okay.
Bring the proposals out, because in 2 weeks we can't work anymore on this.
Yeah, so if anything should be prioritized, I think it's this one, because it has, if we don't,
it's a basic one. I mean,
the community is not gonna approve it, right?
Yeah.
And then the next circle would be have to face the consequences of that.
Not having.
We are not paid. You are not paid as well.
Well, it's my address that's in actually. So no, just kidding. And that actually, a side note, how do we manage that? I mean, yeah, but that's on another note. So yeah. So we are opening up like, I mean, it's not necessarily, and here comes like the classification of the classification of the Trello is very much focused on the problem. But if we have a look at, I mean, we probably have different Trellos for different streams, this I would suppose. So even I would not include the ticket of door here, I would open up another space and it's going to be like CC, circle, whatever.
So
yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Julie,
No.
What do you think? Just we all who didn't signed up now for estimated salary, everybody signed up. We presented next town hall. We have also breakout room. Speak with the community about, hey, does it feel correct for you?
Yeah.
After the step, we can bring it directly into the proposal and have it done before.
Yeah, and we accompany that maybe with a super quick survey, like 2 clicks. Yeah, good. Yeah, good. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay, that's a new decision. Okay, so we're having a breakout room next town hall to talk about the proposal, present the proposal to the community, get their feedback, basically.
Makes sense, Fabio?
So I mixed up the proposal with the proposal I put the placeholder yesterday. Okay, yeah, I mixed it up.
Okay, do we have who is on top of it? Who's so just like who's presenting to the town hall? Who's making like an invite during the town hall to come to the after town hall? That's one question. Who's facilitating the after town hall on behalf of the circle? And the third thing is like who takes ownership on the proposal text, to actually write down something that the community can react to, that's like written and not just a placeholder.
Yeah, okay, I'm signing up for the written part.
Okay. Who wants to talk about who wants to facilitate the after town hall?
I have to do the meeting.
I can do that. I can do that if I'm not facilitating SPOs, some kind of breakout room.
Okay, and who's like brings it up during the town hall, inviting people? So, Loris, do you want to do that too?
Yeah, of course, then it makes sense.
Wonderful. Okay, and also lastly, just house cleaning, like I really suggest that right now we kind of work in kind of an MVP framework. So just have one Trello board for everything, even if it's not formally the best thing, just so it's easier for us to track things. So, we basically, this is like was an emergent problem, right? As we started the circle, we saw, oh fuck, we're stuck, right?
Yeah.
So it's easy to problem, and
Yeah.
so I would create a ticket in the existing Trello board, which is like, the circle is right now volunteer based, and therefore, that's the problem. Like, we're limited. We don't have resources, so we can't be as impactful as we want to. And I'll put that problem with Julie and Loris as owners, and put it on basically on the well-defined problems category right now. And then after we present it to the community, we can move it to the shared with community.
Yeah. And one more to add, maybe we use for those internal things a specific color. This is just a segregation I would do.
Sure.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. And like, do we have more time for this segment? Because it would be nice to actually look at more tickets and see what their status and allocate them. And I think it also helps all of us kind of like understand the Trello logic a bit.
Yes, I'd just like to first ask someone to create a ticket, because I cannot do it. I'm not sure why I don't have the
Which
editing
user
rights
you're
now.
using?
And second thing is, you committed to another thing, Loris. I forgot what, I didn't get it. It was to create a big breakout room and
The breakout room, yeah, and basically announce it on the town hall.
okay.
Give some like quick brief info.
And Dor, we have 4 minutes more for this session.
Okay, I just added that card. I just wrote it into that. Okay, so yeah, let's go on. So we have this one cohort, overwhelming amount of information of Project Catalyst, in particular during the onboarding phase.
Yeah, here.
Are you in capacity? Do you think we can move it to, or do you? I feel like you're busy already with other.
Yeah, I'm super busy. But what the MVP I really would want to do, and I think this is reasonable to do, is to really narrow it down, because just I'm thinking of the title, awareness and onboarding. I would leave out the awareness. I would focus on the onboarding, and just thinking about that we have in Catalyst already a challenge on valued onboarding. I think in that case, it's more of focusing on the effectiveness of onboarding, like effectiveness and efficiency of onboarding, and looking at the different roles that Catalyst requires, and then really break it down. So I would want to focus or commit to really be specific on the problem definition for the next meeting.
Okay, so yeah.
Together. Okay, so basically my comment, yeah, I think we should split it as, actually those are two different problems, and awareness and onboarding. And we see that currently we have another issue which is larger than awareness, because we have so many projects already. So yeah, so this is again a little bit different topic. So, but yeah, let's split it and focus on onboarding and the quality, I think.
Okay, so I'm like, I just renamed the ticket called Improve Awareness, and I'm just creating a new one called Improve Onboarding.
Do we still have an issue with awareness, because we have so many projects now which are there?
So, yeah, so I was going to mention,
do we have enough manpower? Yeah, we don't have enough manpower to do it.
Yeah,
let's
start with the onboard. Let's cover the onboarding, because I think that's the one that's more alive for us right now. So who's the owner of that problem?
It was one of the tool makers.
Yeah, there was a splitted. Yeah,
Yes.
there was a splitted streams among other teams.
And I think also for the CAs, it counts also
Mm,
for, especially for right now.
I'm just
Mm.
saying, like in terms of the circle, right? Not the solution, but bringing the problem, presenting it to community, like shepherding the tickets from here to the end. Who owns it? Who brought it originally to the circle?
Felix
Yeah.
was,
Hackers, I think.
Felix, so
Yeah.
can we put you? Can we assign you as the owner of this problem?
yeah.
Okay.
But maybe we have to split this problem in even smaller chunks because it's something huge, like onboarding. It's
Yes.
like it's too
but-
large already. We can't chew it. Like,
But
it's like
this is
What I'm trying to say is that, like, now that we have an owner, let's let Felix take care of it and continue to review other tickets.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I'm just like
okay.
just in terms of
Mo-
Hey, and just one note. The point after this bullet agenda is the CA risk mitigation. Should we include that already in the conversation right now, or should we treat it afterwards?
let's read it afterwards.
Okay.
Just want to
Okay.
say that's the worst title I ever had to be problem owner of Catalyst onboarding. That's really sad.
No, I think that fits perfectly.
But yeah, let's move on.
Okay, let's
Yes,
move.
and just
So,
a
the
heads
next
up,
ticket-
sorry, Doc, just a heads up, we just finished the time. We are on schedule now for the next topic. Would you like to spend 5 more minutes here in the Trello board before we move on?
I mean, only in case someone has specifically a ticket that he really wants to feel it's urgent to cover right now, and if not, we can move on.
Just one question for because how I defined the problems, it was already with the community through 6 different sessions in after town halls and swarm sessions. So it's shared already with the community. So we could move it directly, shared with community.
Okay, so it needs to have a bit more stuff in it instead of a title, though, like some kind of takeaways, conclusions,
Yeah, some glorious titles.
next steps. I'm sure you can take care of that.
Okay, do I still have a say on that since I'm not the owner of the problem?
Yes, I make you co-owner of the problem, Julian. Give me a second.
Yeah, or we take it offline. Yeah, let's take it offline because because I have the objection here in terms of the process door presented and the
You're co-owner of the problem now, Julian. You want it.
you wanted.
No.
Loris, you have your hand raised. Would you like to say something? No? Okay, so let's move on. We've just finished this topic now. Now a short discussion, 10 minutes. This is wrong. Should be 10 minutes here to talk about the possible problem with the number of CAs in Fund 6. I think the first thing to say here is that as Dora announced yesterday in the town hall, now every proposer in Fund 6 can be a CA, which is really good that we are going to increase the number of CAs that have never been a CA before, and also the CAs that had ideas to propose in Catalyst, they will be allowed to be CAs without the restrictions of not being a CA in the same challenge where you have a proposal in. But I think Dor has something else in his mind that he would like to share.
So I think I'll break the problem into 2 parts. Okay, so first of all, there's like a CA problem and a VCA problem. Okay, the CA problem is that Victor, can you tell me like how much current active CAs we have? Ballpark,
around,
not exact.
Yeah, I think it's around 30, 35.
Okay, so this 30-35, kind of barely managed to do the Fund 5, right? And I would assume we need at least double. Okay, so we need 35 more active CAs, approximately, right, to reduce the risk. So that's one target. And you know, when we got to 30 CAs after 5 funding rounds, right, and like now we need to get like the same amount of numbers in 2 weeks. Okay, so that's like that's one problem statement. Then the second problem statement is, you know, 813 proposals. Okay, let's say only 700 go to the ballot. Okay, like for some reason, like only 700, and each one has at least 3 reviews. Okay, so it's 2100 reviews that need to be reviewed in a period of 10 days. Like if we keep the same amount of VCAs, so we have 30 active VCAs. I'm just doing a quick like math. Okay, so 2100 divided by 30. So it's like 70.
Yeah,
so each
it's
VCA would have
yeah.
70 reviews he needs to review in 10 days, which honestly it seems not too bad. If I like, it seems pretty realistic. But of course,
70, 10 days. Okay.
yeah, it's like 7 a day. It's like it sounds like borderline realistic. So it would. I think we'll need at least probably 15 more, right? Like I think something like that to reduce the risk.
So
Like
50 CAs?
So 30 more CAs and 15 more VCAs.
I will sign up
So
for CA.
15, 115. So
Sorry, 15 and
and 30. I think that's of active ones, right? It's like not just someone who signs up, because that's we have plenty of. And the question is like, what can we? So this is the problem, and what can we do as a circle to address this challenge? And I think one thing is like, because we did this change in the rules, right, with proposers that can be CAs, is we can announce it and we can publish it, and we can also probably come to the town hall, like have Victor come to the town hall, for example, and really invite people to do it because they're needed, you know. And like I think that's some initial solution, and like I want to hear from others. What do you think?
To announce it wouldn't be a problem. The incentives would maybe be a problem. So what is the easy way maybe to make it a little bit attractive for people? So, hey, sign up and whatnot. There will be a fancy NFT for you. Not something what has a lot of value you can't even share, but hey, something what rewards the people also to say, hey, look, we are in a miserable situation. We need your help, and we want to recognize the help as well.
Yeah, so there is $200,000 in ADA that's going to go to CAs and VCAs, right, as incentive.
I think we should try also different channels now, because you know those who are attending town hall, they know about that there's such kind of option to do that. So we need just to expand the channels where we are announcing or talking about this one. So maybe that's something we can do in each of our communities and try to figure out. But at the same time, yeah, it's again a larger issue that usually those active guys who are doing something and are involved in everything, they're already stretched out. So we need to have to breed a new generation of active people who want to participate in these kind of tasks.
For example, the IoT tech community, they have each 2 weeks calls as well. Sorry. And they don't know a lot about Catalyst. So just, for example, Danny, last week he made not weeks ago, he made a presentation about Catalyst. And most of the people in the IoT tech community, they don't know nothing about Catalyst. So bring it there, for example.
I think we also could personalize this process. I'm thinking about if we have a clear number as stated, like 30 and 15, we might know people around us, and that's nothing to do with, prioritizing people over people. No, it's just taking responsibility of a crucial process that we want to ensure as a community gets done properly. So why don't we personally commit to have conversations on people we think that could be valuable? I mean, just thinking me, I have like 2-3 people that I would really try to convince to do it. And I'm probably sure that they would do it just because I know these people are very involved in the community. So this is one thing. And the other thing, why don't we open up a application form for people? Why don't you want to be a community advisor? So I wonder if this elevates the crucialness of this issue in giving him time, giving him a breakout after town hall, and if it's going to be like 5 that end up being super engaged, okay, so we have 5 more. But I don't see this number as not achievable with those kind of more personalized approaches.
So I want to kind of summarize a bit like the different perspectives people gave and try to synthesize this into one or 2 actions. So I think the general problem that was raised is a problem of awareness, right? There's 2 types of awareness issues. One is this whole like new change that proposals can be CAs, and I think probably just from the proposer community that are already hyper engaged, we can get enough people to fill in gaps. And the second issue of awareness, but I think proposers are not aware of it, and I think this is where like we in IOG, we can send an email to our proposers and tell them about this opportunity, so they will get it in their emails and can respond. So this is one action I propose, and then just direct reaching out for proposers in Fund 6 and see what if we get any traction. And then the second issue of awareness that Felix mentioned is like people are not even aware about the incentives. We're just changing the incentive system, they're like, so maybe some people have the misperception that being a CA is like volunteering and they're not getting compensated for it. So, and here I think that ideally we would create one media artifact that says like, hey, we really need you, it's really important. Hey, here's the incentives, right? Here's the compensation. And by the way, also proposals can be CAs, just like have one document that has kind of a call for action to register a CA. Like, go to ID scale, register a CA. And then the second thing was about reach, like how can we reach the right people with this message? And that was also brought up by a few people. So Felix was suggesting that we go to promote it in the Swarm, we promote it in the WADAP conference, we can promote it in the town hall, and maybe there's other avenues we can promote it. So that's my synthesis basically. So we create one strong call for action that deals with the awareness problem, and then each one of us promotes it in their own, using their own channels. Does that make sense?
Yes, and Eastern Town Hall as well, because there are coming a bunch of Vietnamese people in for CAs. That's a really cool network.
Yeah. Hey, and I want to jump in. Isn't there another risk? I mean, one thing is getting them to sign up. The other thing is getting them to do the reviews. So I think there is a mechanism we need to like push on, hey, you signed up. according to that, why don't you set a target? Could you do 20 reviews today, or I don't know, but I think the barrier of signing up and actually really doing it, there's a gap, and maybe with communication we can push it, or like in the moment be like more aggressive on take action. You signed up, take responsibility. We need you, what you just said.
Okay. So my suggestion would be, just try to, warm market. So of course we can ask, and get a lot of people who will sign up, but I think we need people who really would love to, to do that, and just, if they get some information about what's actually required from them, some short info on that, it will be easier for us. Like, I can send a lot of SPOs who are active and looking for some kind of thing, how to be involved more in this community. So let's try to get some kind of short info, like, something that we can, shortly give out and see. Maybe create some kind of form where they can sign up. So I wouldn't go public, like, so we cannot ask Charles to post, a Twitter link, but it will be too much. So we need to really focus on the quality, I think, and 30, we can get 30 people, I think in our group, there are so many people who know really active guys who want to participate.
Yeah, actually, this leads me to, oh, I'm sorry, everybody's raising hands.
Victor,
I think Victor is frozen. I think what Victor
I
wants to say is we're out of time.
We reached our time limit. You only have now. Can you hear me?
You're broken up a little.
Yeah, you're breaking up. So we understand that we are out of time, and so the next minutes we are spending will not be paid.
No, I think my proposal is I think we have an action plan. Let's talk the details on chat after the meeting. I think we got where we wanted to be in terms of the discussion about it, and we can actionate it on the Telegram.
Felix?
Yeah, I think I'm back now.
Yep, you're back. Ah, no, you're still frozen.
His time is up. Okay, so next topic, meeting feedback on buffer time, which I don't think we have. Okay, fill out the feedback form about the meeting productivity. So do we have the form somewhere, the link of the form?
Somebody has? I don't have.
I think I'm back.
Victor's back.
Hey, welcome back.
Shall we fill the feedback form to?
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to ask Pete to share the feedback form, but I think it's here somewhere. Can you use the same one, Pete?
Sure, let me grab the link for you.
It's here. Great.
Ah,
It's,
cool. We have one in the chat, Victor.
It's in the chat, yeah.
Do we have to do, Victor, you're still sharing your screen. So if you don't want the
Victor put one and everybody sucked.
No, you would never do something like this. Do we have to do it directly, the feedback form?
we learned that if we leave it to after the meeting, it doesn't
True,
get
no,
done. Now we force everybody to be quiet and get it over with.
I was always bad in stuff like this in school.
Okay.
And everyone's done. That's the end of the meeting.
Now,
Thanks,
didn't
everyone.
that didn't feel a lot better this meeting this week? It's like
Much better.
lighter and more productive.
Yeah, totally.
It was good. Yep.
Thanks, Victor. You really.
Thanks, Victor. Yes.
Way to
you
go,
are.
Victor. You had us right there as you were going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
For sure. And stop recording.